The movie tells the stories of three couples that fall in love in different ways and circumstances. Kaya-na is a famous and successful screenplay writer who has recently finished her new screenplay. She's a pretty middle-aged woman known in South Korea for writing the best romance series, and she's excited about her new one. There's only one problem. She needs the lead actor to be handsome and famous, but no one wants to work with her because she's known for being a shrew and treating her employees badly. Her producer and manager want to hire Jinwoo, an actor that has recently been discharged from mandatory military service and is trending on social media. When she hears their suggestion, Kaya-na gets angry because Jinwoo is the last person she wants to work with. They have a mysterious past together that no one but the two of them knows about. Jinwoo is living the dream of any young actor starting in the business. He's handsome and young, and everyone wants a piece of him. He is interviewed for a TV show to talk about his success, not only in South Korea, but in China and Japan as well. Even after 2 years away from the cameras, Jinwoo is still considered a top actor. Now that he has been discharged from military service, he plans to star as the lead in a new series. His manager hands him the script from Kaya-na's series, but he refuses to have anything to do with the woman for some reason. He didn't even call her to tell her that he is back in the business, something that hurts her deeply, but she will never admit to it. His manager insists that he accepts it, because if it weren't for Kaya-na, Jinwoo wouldn't be so successful. Still, the actor refuses. The next couple is Kaya-na's producer, Na-yeon, and Suho, an anonymous composer and songwriter. Na-yeon is a pretty, young girl who tries her hardest not to lose her mind with her horrible boss. Despite working for a person she despises, Na-yeon is a bubbly girl, and she has a friendship with a local restaurant chef, Sung Chan. Suho, the quiet and shy composer, also has a friendship with Sung Chan, and it's through him that he meets Na-yeon. Suho is the opposite of Na-yeon. He's deaf, and because of his disability, Suho is afraid of meeting new people and being judged for it. He usually spends his time at home, composing his songs and hanging out with his 10-year-old neighbor, Yuiju. He often goes to Sung Chan's restaurant, and it's there that he meets Na-yeon. The night they meet, Na-yeon is frustrated with her boss and gets drunk while Sung Chan comforts her. Suho is enchanted with the girl and how pretty she is, but he's too shy to talk to her. He simply stares at Na-yeon and fumbles whenever she talks directly to him. At one point, Na-yeon thinks Suho is staring at her chest and calls him out, which makes Suho blush in embarrassment. Although he's deaf, Suho developed the skill of lip reading, so he often pretends that he can hear people. That's why Na-yeon doesn't notice he's deaf. The third couple is a chef and restaurant owner Sung Chan and a flight attendant Ju-ran. Sung Chan is a middle-aged man who has been engaged to marry a woman for years. He loves his fiancée, and he's willing to do anything for her happiness, including renting an expensive apartment for them to live in. The owner of the apartment is Ju-ran, a flight attendant whose dream is to have her own boutique. She doesn't like being a flight attendant, mainly because she feels as if she has to suck up to her boss to be successful. She wants to be independent, and she's willing to work hard for it. Ju-ran and Sung Chan are also opposites. The chef is easygoing and open, and he's always trying to help people, no matter what the issue is. As for Ju-ran, she's haughty, bossy, and conceited. She only thinks about herself and doesn't care about others. Sung Chan and Ju-ran meet when he's checking her apartment up, and instead of treating him well, she's aloof and bossy. Sung Chan doesn't like her and thinks she's a harsh woman, while Ju-ran thinks he's a simpleton. They hope they never have to meet again. After he rented the expensive apartment, Sung Chan's fiancée breaks up with him out of nowhere. He's sad and confused, especially after he did what she asked and rented the apartment she wanted. Now he has to move into the apartment by himself and pay for all the expenses. Ju-ran is also not very lucky in her endeavors. She naively invested money in the wrong person and ended up losing all her savings. Her dreams of being her own boss go down the drain, and she sees herself lost in a sea of debts. There are a lot of issues with the apartment she rented to Sung Chan, and they need to meet again so that he can complain to her about it. Sung Chan wonders if she's cursed because of all the problems in the seemingly good apartment, and Ju-ran starts crying. It's too much for her to take. She lost all her hard-earned money and her prospects of a better life, and she's having a middle-age crisis because she's almost 40 and she's still single. Soon she'll be too old to have children or to find a husband. Sung Chan feels sorry for her, and his empathy almost makes him cry along with her, because his life isn't the best either. After seeing the snobbish woman struggling and sad, Sung Chan offers her a room in her apartment, which she can rent for a small price. At first, Ju-ran hesitates because she doesn't know him well, but her situation isn't favorable. For that reason, the next morning Ju-ran appears at Sung Chan's apartment with all her things, to officially move in with him. Back to Kaya-na and Jinwoo. They are played by their managers, and end up meeting without them knowing about it. Neither is happy that they must see each other again. Kaya-na acts aloof and cold toward Jinwoo, and she questions why he doesn't want to be part of her new series. He shrugs and tells her he just wasn't feeling like it. Kaya-na despises his nonchalant behavior toward her, because she doesn't understand where it came from. At the same time, she doesn't want to have any kind of relationship with him, because she has a secret that no one knows about. She has a 3-year-old son, and he might be Jinwoo's baby. Kaya-na quickly ends the meeting and leaves a bothered Jinwoo behind. Even though he tries to pretend he doesn't care about her or her opinion of him, Jinwoo secretly loves Kye-na. He's denying her series to catch her attention, and it works, but not in a positive light. When Kye-na leaves, their managers talk badly about her behind her back, calling her bossy. Jinwoo comes to her defense, snidely telling them that if she were a man, people would admire her tenacity. When he goes back to his house, he stares at pictures of them together and reminisces about their past. Kye-na has a big part in Jinwoo's career, and in the past, they used to have an amicable relationship, though Jinwoo ended up falling for her. A few days later, they meet again because of their managers. Kye-na's manager is insisting that she convinces Jinwoo to work with her, because he had already done so in the past, and he isn't afraid of speaking his mind to her. People are usually afraid of working with her because of her temper, so it's hard to find actors willing. Jinwoo's manager wants him to work with her because he hasn't done anything meaningful since he was discharged, and working with her would be a great opportunity for him to be seen again. They are both on the defensive. Kye-na asks him if the reason he doesn't want to work for her again is because of their one-night stand, but Jinwoo scoffs and denies it. He mocks her and says that she must be the one missing him, because he's handsome and young. Kye-na doesn't fall for his mockery, and that annoys Jinwoo more than anything. Nothing he does or says makes her lower her defenses to show a slice of vulnerability. She's hard as a rock, and she isn't affected by him at all. Once again, they get into an argument that doesn't help their situation, much to their manager's desperation. Moving on to Suho and Na-yeon, he can't stop thinking about her. He remembers her expressions, the way her lips moved when she was speaking, and how passionate she looked. Na-yeon also liked him and thought he was handsome, albeit quiet and shy. She finds him on social media and comments on his pictures, trying to find a way to subtly connect with him so he can realize that she's interested. Suho finds her comments funny, but he's too scared of talking to her. She has no idea he's deaf, and he's afraid she will pity him when she finds out, as many people do. He wants to have a common relationship, just a guy and a girl going out and having fun without having to worry about anything. Na-yeon keeps giving him opportunities to ask her out, and she gets annoyed when he doesn't. Tired of waiting for him to make a move, she asks him out to eat something. Suho is completely hopeless when it comes to flirting, and he doesn't understand that she's trying to ask him out on a date. He replies that he already ate. Feeling rejected, Na-yeon gives up on trying to flirt with him and say goodbye. Suho has no clue what he did wrong. He feels sad that he lost his opportunity with Na-yeon because he's into her. While walking with his dog with a downtrodden expression, he meets Sung-chan and asks him for advice. When Sung-chan sees the message, he can't believe Suho is this clueless. He wants the younger man to have more fun in life and enjoy his youth, so he decides to push him in the right direction. Grabbing Suho's phone, he sends Na-yeon a formal message asking her to go out with him. Suho nervously waits for Na-yeon's reply, thinking that she's going to reject him for sure. He doesn't think he's anything special and puts all his worth into his disability. He's doubtful of his ability to have a relationship. He doesn't even have many friends to begin with. His two closest friends are a middle-aged chef and a 10-year-old kid. Na-yeon is clueless about his insecurities, and she accepts to go out with him. They go out to have ice cream and to get to know each other better. Suho never tells her of his disability, and Na-yeon isn't suspicious because he answers all her questions after reading her lips. After that first date, they start going out every week. They always go out to eat noodle soup, something that soon annoys Na-yeon. One day, when they are in Suho's car after a date, Na-yeon plays a song on the radio and wonders if Suho knows the singer. He can't hear the song, so he pretends he does. Unbeknownst to him, it's his song playing, and Na-yeon is a big fan. She mentions his pseudonym and says that the melody of the song is great, but the lyrics are lacking. Suho finally catches up that she's listening to his song and takes her criticism to heart. He's determined to write a better song and play it for her one day. Kye-na and Jinwoo meet one more time, this time at an acquaintance's wedding. At first, Kye-na doesn't see Jinwoo, but when her son accidentally bumps into Jinwoo and starts crying, she goes after him. Jinwoo tries to soothe the crying toddler, and when Kye-na sees her son in Jinwoo's lap, her heart stops. She quickly picks him up and leaves a confused Jinwoo behind, praying that he isn't going to connect the dots. What Kye-na doesn't know is that the actor is obsessed with her, and when he realizes she has a kid, he starts stalking her everywhere to see if she's married. He finds out she's a single mother and that her baby is 3 years old. He quickly does the math, and it's obvious that the baby's age matches the time they had their one-night stand. In a flashback, Jinwoo remembers the day he slept with Kye-na. It's the day before he's going to join the army, and he's nervous about leaving his career on hiatus for 2 years. He's still a new actor, and he thinks people will forget him. Depressed, he drinks a lot at his farewell party, and accidentally ends up sleeping in Kye-na's car. When she gets home, she's startled when Jinwoo stumbles out of the car drunk as a sailor. Jinwoo asks to go to her bathroom, and before she says no, he runs into her house. Kye-na is annoyed, but she knows he's reckless and young, so she gives him a pass. They talk for a bit about Jinwoo's career and his fears for the future, and at the end of the night, they end up sleeping together. On the following day, Jinwoo leaves with no clue that he impregnated Kye-na. The writer is happy when she finds out she's pregnant, even though she knows she's going to be ostracized for being a single mother. People are always curious about the father of her child, and many think she did artificial insemination. Jinwoo feels deep inside his soul that the cute toddler is his, and he's bent to find out the truth. He goes to Kaya-na's house, much to her surprise, under the excuse of bringing her child a gift after he scared him at the wedding. Kaya-na isn't happy to see him there, and tells him to leave. Before she can shut the door in his face, he invades her house and runs to the bathroom, just like he did the night they conceived their child. Jinwoo subtly tries to ask her about the baby, but Kaya-na dodges all his questions. When she finally realizes that he thinks the child is his, she strongly denies his paternity and asks him to leave. Jinwoo is willing to do anything to know the truth, so on a whim, he tells her that he will be part of her series if she confesses to him who the father is. Kaya-na sees this as a good opportunity for having a trending actor in her series, but at the same time, she doesn't want to tell him the truth. She needs time to think and to prepare for a lie that will make him give up his pursuit. Back to Sung-chan and Ju-ran, their living together isn't working very well. Ju-ran is a complicated woman. She's always stressed about something, and frequently complains to Sung-chan about things around the house. Sung-chan doesn't care about her temper. The house is still his, and he does as he pleases. One day, he takes a shower in her bathroom and uses her French soap. When Ju-ran notices it, she gets pissed at him and starts arguing about her lack of privacy. Instead of arguing back, Sung-chan finds a way to shut her up. With food. He gives her delicious pasta, and she soon forgets all about the French soap and the issues in her life. Ju-ran barely eats to keep her shape fit, so she's frequently hangry. Sung-chan decides to feed her and help her out in her disastrous life. He gives her advice about work, and tells her that she needs to suck up to her boss if she wants a promotion. The next time Ju-ran goes out with her co-workers, she humiliates herself in front of her boss to get a promotion, and it works. The only problem is that she ends up with a timbrel stuck around her neck. She calls Sung-chan for help, and they go to the hospital where Sung-chan knows the intern. The intern is a handsome young man, and Ju-ran is interested in him, but she thinks she's too old. When they go back home after an evening of Ju-ran being humiliated in several different ways, she complains about her life to Sung-chan. She's lonely, especially since all her friends are already married with kids, and she isn't. She feels as if no one can understand her or what she's going through. Her whole life was dedicated to having enough money to build her business, and she didn't have time for relationships. She regrets it now that she's older and still single, broke, and having to humiliate herself for her boss. Sung-chan always tries to see the silver lining, and decides to help her again. This time, he is giving her advice about relationships. He teaches her how to portray herself on social media to catch the attention of younger men. He even offers to take pictures of her, and Ju-ran accepts it. On the following days, they go out to many different places so Ju-ran can take conceptual pictures to post. They get closer as friends after he helps her out, and their living together becomes bearable. Every evening they eat a meal prepared by Sung-chan, and one day, he even gives her a massage. Soon the boundaries of their relationship blur, and they start seeing each other through different lenses. Sung-chan thinks Ju-ran is pretty, funny, and very hardworking. She isn't afraid of going after what she wants, even though she has to humiliate herself sometimes. In turn, Ju-ran enjoys the way Sung-chan takes care of her and others without a second thought. He's very selfless and gives good advice. The only issue for the couple is that after so many cute pictures, the intern at the hospital notices Ju-ran, and they start dating. Ju-ran is happy and excited about going out with a younger, handsome man who has a good job. He may be her lifeline if they end up getting married. Sung-chan is jealous of the intern, but there is nothing he can say, because he's afraid Ju-ran is going to reject him. Despite being great with advice for other people, Sung-chan is also insecure about himself, especially after being dumped by his fiancée. He's afraid of getting too close to Ju-ran and falling for her. Moving on to Suho and Na-yeon, and their relationship is flourishing. They have a lot in common, and when they are together, they always have fun. Suho even asked Na-yeon to go bungee jumping with him so that he can try and hear her scream. The only issue in the relationship is that Suho is still lying to Na-yeon about being deaf, and she has no idea. One day, Na-yeon invites Suho to eat out with her friends so that she can introduce him to them. Suho never replies to her, which confuses her and makes her question their relationship. She doesn't understand Suho sometimes. They only meet a couple of times during the week, and Suho never answers her calls. It makes her insecure that he isn't taking the relationship seriously. What she doesn't know is that Suho is afraid of interacting with a lot of people because of his disability. If he went out with her friends, he wouldn't be able to read their lips all the time, and eventually, they are going to find out the truth. He's afraid that Na-yeon is going to break up with him if she finds out, and instead of being honest with her, he pushes her away. Na-yeon already has too many problems in her life, and a bad boyfriend isn't something she wants. She goes to Suho's house to break up with him, because she's afraid she's putting too much into the relationship and he isn't. Suho gets desperate and tries to make her change her mind by playing a song he wrote on the piano. It's a new composition, one he wrote while thinking about her. Na-yeon silently cries while listening to him play, and forgives him when he apologizes. After their first argument, things are fragile between them, and it only gets worse when Na-yeon invites Suho to go to a play with her. He can't say no or tell her the truth. On the way to meet her, however, Suho gets involved in an accident because he didn't hear the honks at the bike. The accident destabilizes him because the driver is angry and keeps yelling at him. To make things worse, Na-yeon overhears him saying that he's deaf. That's why he didn't hear the honk. She silently helps Suho collect the things that fell from the bike, and Suho is so nervous about her reaction that he's shaking. In the end, he can't bear to look at her and see the pity he knows is going to be there. He feels small and insignificant when he looks at her again. He apologizes to Na-yeon before she can say anything to him, and leaves feeling worthless. Na-yeon is confused about why he never told her he was deaf, but she has no issues with it. She tries calling him later on, but he refuses to answer his phone. She even goes to his house and yells at him, but he ignores her. He feels too ashamed to see her again. Things between Kyung-ah and Jinwoo aren't great either. She blocked him after he went to her house to question her, and Jinwoo can't see the pictures of his baby. He keeps pestering her whenever possible, because he wants to be part of his son's life, but Kyung-ah continues to push him away. Kyung-ah is seeing her life crumbling around her after Jinwoo came back. Not only can she not find anyone to work with her, Na-yeon, who is frustrated about Suho and their own breakup, tells Kyung-ah that she's so awful that no one wants to be close to her. Although she acts nonchalant and aloof like always, Na-yeon's words cut her deeply. It's not the first time someone's told her that. Jinwoo has called her worse names before, but to know that her series is failing makes her sad. Jinwoo coming after her all the time doesn't help. She knows that if she tells him the truth, and it gets out in the open, he's going to be ostracized and excluded from job opportunities. His career might even end. Deep down, Kyung-ah also loves Jinwoo, but she doesn't think they can work out because of their age difference and the fact he's a famous actor. Jinwoo doesn't care about it, not when he knows he has a son. The only solution Kyung-ah can come up with to help her career, and Jinwoo's, is to leave South Korea altogether. Without informing anyone close to her, she gives up on her series and packs her things to move away. Na-yeon is desperate when she can't reach Suho. When he broke up with her, she realized that she liked him more than she admitted, and she can't stop thinking about his face after she found out he was deaf. She knows he likes her too, and that there's something preventing them from being together. Days go by without them meeting or talking, and Na-yeon is at her wit's end. One day, when she's at Sung Chan's restaurant looking for him, she hears the new song of her favorite composer, and it's the same song Suho played for her on the piano. She realizes that he has been the composer this whole time. And now the song has lyrics that talk about breaking up with someone the writer loved. Na-yeon decides she can't accept the end of their relationship and goes after him again. Suho was traveling to another city, and Na-yeon packs her bags to go after him. She even sends him a message saying that if she doesn't see him that day, she's going to give up. Moving on to Ju-ran and Sung Chan, she's still dating the intern, and he asks her to go with him to Japan to meet his family officially. Ju-ran thinks the intern is handsome and smart, but they have nothing in common. She starts questioning if she's doing the right thing, especially when she realizes she has feelings for Sung Chan. Whenever she tries anything with him, he rebukes her, so she's afraid of leaving the intern and being single again. At the same time, Sung Chan knew that Ju-ran's relationship wasn't going to last, and he was just waiting for it to finally end. He was sure that after her trip to Japan, he was going to have his opportunity, but first, he wanted her to know what it's like to date a younger man. The three couples converge at the airport at the same time. Jinwoo's desperate with fear that if Kyung-ah goes away, he's never going to see her or their baby again. He was supposed to travel to China to do an advert, but he goes after her instead. When he can't find her anywhere, he publishes a picture of her on his social media and explains their situation. He says he wants to find her, to take care of his baby. People start sending him messages about her, including Ju-ran. She sees Kyung-ah and posts a picture. Jinwoo quickly goes after Kyung-ah and confesses his love to her. He says he was never able to forget her and their night together, and now that he knows they have a kid, he wants to do the right thing. Kyung-ah tries to make him change his mind, because he could lose his career, but he doesn't care about it. He wants to be a father and a partner to her. To her surprise, Jinwoo grabs her face and kisses her in front of everyone at the airport. People cheer for them, even Jinwoo fangirls. And Kyung-ah finally admits that she loves him too. Sung Chan meets Ju-ran before she leaves for Japan, and tells her about the boy he's looking for. When Ju-ran comforts him by saying that the boy can't travel without his parents, Sung Chan thanks her. Before he leaves, he cleans a speck of dirt in her jacket, and the small attitude makes Ju-ran fall for him even more. He takes such good care of her that she almost swoons. Watching him leave helps her make up her mind. Instead of traveling to Japan with a young man who she doesn't even like very much, she goes after Sung Chan. Suho is at the airport trying to find his friend when suddenly, Na-yeon appears in front of him. She's angry and starts punching him for the way he behaved, pretending she didn't exist. Suho finally takes a leap of faith and apologizes to her. He hugs her tightly, and when she says she brought him some food, he kisses her as if his life depends on it. There's only one couple left to find their happy ending. Ju Ran goes after Sung Chan at the restaurant, much to his surprise. They argue for a bit about their life choices, and Ju Ran finally admits that she thought she was destined to be a doctor's wife, when in reality she wanted a chef. Sung Chan finally kisses her, after days of admiring her from afar, and wondering what it would be like to be with her. Back to Kaya Nga and Jinwoo. She lets him register her son as his, and they become a happy little family. Kaya Nga also receives her job as the writer of the new series, with Jinwoo acting as the lead actor. Suho and Na-yeon start dating more seriously, and he opens up more to her. Suho finds out that he was stupid to think that Na-yeon would stop liking him because he's deaf. As for Ju Ran and Sung Chan, they continue living together, and he always makes good food for her, so she's never hangry again.